Hey everyone, Dr. Zio here again, and today we're here to talk about Power Rangers Dino Fury Season 2, Episode 18, Guilt Trip. And boy, is it a guilt trip because not only does Ollie be feeling guilty in this episode, but the Rangers take a trip to Japan, which means we get to see Dr. Akana, aka the best mother in Power Rangers. And I am so happy that Dr. Khan is in this episode. But as always, let's go ahead and talk about how we start these things off with our summary, likes, dislikes, conclusion, and then our questions of the week. Although this week I don't really have any questions. But yeah, so overall, yeah, pretty okay episode. The episode revolves around Ollie, and our boy is fucking up yet again. This time it's not with Amelia though. He is showing Amelia all the love he can. They've been going on dates off screen a lot apparently. Dates to the beach, and now they're planning a date to this haunted hotel, the Stein Hotel, I believe it's called. And yeah, the Stein Hotel. And basically, the Stein Hotel is one of the most haunted hotels. I don't know if it's in Pine Ridge or just in the PR universe in general. Maybe their state of what, California? Who knows? And yeah, he in planning this trip, I guess he's been ignoring his mom. It's not just that trip though. He's been ignoring his mom a lot more frequently to spend time with Amelia, which ain't exactly a good thing to do, my guy. But basically, the episode starts off with Void Queen, the Voids, if you will, talking about the fact that they now have the key to the drill that Warden Garcia talked about in the previous episode, and so now they can go ahead and enact their plan. However, first things first, they need to get the Rangers far away from Pine Ridge, and so they bring in our monster of the week called Sugar Hit, who has quite the sweet tooth in that Sugar Hit can conjure up sweet-based attacks like pies and cakes and things of that nature. Essentially, they send Sugar Hit to Japan to distract the Rangers, and so I guess I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Basically, Amelia and Ollie are planning this trip. Dr. Akana calls, and she's like, "Hey, what's up? I just want to speak with my son. I just want to check in on the data you sent me. I guess he's helping her with some archaeological data, and he did not send her the correct data, but we don't know that quite yet." And then Ollie's like, "Yeah, everything's okay. I haven't called you because I've been really busy, and I'll talk to you later." And they hang up, and Ollie goes back to planning things with Amelia. Meanwhile, Dr. Akana on her end sees that there is a yokai, hanging out in Japan and doing things, having fun in Japan. Oh, good old Sledge. And so she calls the Rangers because she thinks it's not necessarily a yokai, but rather a Sporix beast, which we know is true. It's Sugar Hit, chilling, and running amok in Japan. So she tries calling Ollie to alert him to the fact that there's a Sporix beast in Japan, and he ignores the call, which was super rude, dude. Like, that's not cool. Instead, she calls Solon afterwards, and Solon beckons the Rangers to the base, and shows the Rangers the news broadcast from Japan. They're like, "Yeah, so that's probably a Sporix beast. Let's go ahead and go down there." And Solon's like, "Hey, Ollie, your mom wanted you to come down here." And Ollie's like, "I've got things to do with Amelia." And so he, in a roundabout way, convinces Ion to go instead. He uses Ion's love for food to basically tell him that Japan has great food. And, Ion, you should go. So Ion ends up going to Japan to, Dr. Akana's surprise. She was expecting to see her son and not the Gold Ranger from at RAFCON. But nonetheless, she accepts the help. And, she takes Ion to go get some, I think it was takoyaki. And at that point, they see Sugar Hit. So Ion gets into a fight with Sugar Hit in a pretty decent unmorphed fight. Ends up morphing. They fight, call in Dr. Akana calls in the rest of the Rangers to Japan. They have their little fight, and that provides Void Queen with the distraction they need. Then Mucus calls. Void Queen tells her, "Hey, the Rangers are here in Japan. Everything's good to go for step 2 of the plan." So back in Pine Ridge, Void King, Slither, and Wreckmate go to where Warden Garcia and them have the drill and basically doing maintenance checks on the drill. They scare the maintenance workers and try turning on the drill, but it doesn't work. Meanwhile, Warden Garcia, who's hiding behind some, I guess, machinery or something there, calls the Ranger hotline. But because Void King and friends can't get the drill to work, they actually just leave. And so So Warden Garcia retracts the call, and that's basically that for that portion of the episode, which was really weird. But we'll get to that here in the dislike section. Essentially, after that, the Rangers are trying to figure out, okay, well, when Mucus retreated, she had a map. So what exactly is going on? So go back to Dr. Ikana's lab, and they figure out, okay, so Mucus and friends are basically visiting the top 10 tourist locations. I think it was in either Osaka or just in Japan in general, and they figure out where the last location is. In the meantime, while they're trying to devise a plan to get there, Dr. Ikana and Ollie have a heart-to-heart where Ollie's basically... Dr. Ikana's basically grilling him, saying, yo, why are you ghosting me, son? What's going on? I understand that you have a girlfriend now, but I'm still your mother. And Ollie's over here, saying that I'm not ghosting you. I'm not ghosting you. Period. Everything's okay. I'm just busy. You know what? If you're gonna be like this, I don't want to work with you anymore. And he storms off. Immediately goes off to talk with him. Says, "Hey, man, I didn't have a mother growing up, especially a cool one like you. So I mean, your mom's really cool. You should respect her some more." And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess." And then one of Dr. Khan's coworkers comes in with, I guess, bags of vending machine snacks. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna be staying up all night with your mom. We're gonna have a late night." I'm like, "Yo, what?" And apparently, because Ollie sent in the wrong data, they have to have that late night so they can correct the data so that the workers can get paid properly. And Ollie's like, "Dang, now I feel guilty. Well, let me go patch things up with my mom." And they end up patching things up at the end of the episode. But anyway, the Rangers go, they find the last location where Mucus and friends are chilling out. They end up fighting Mucus and friends. Ollie gets back into another fight with Sugar Hit. And they have a short fight. Ion ends up kicking. Ion gets into a fight again with Sugar Hit. Ion kicks Sugar Hit off into the distance. Sugar Hit grows big. They get into a Megazord fight. Rangers call on the Mosa Cosmic Megazord. They beat Sugar Hit in a very, very short Megazord battle. And then they regroup at the lab, and they have a nice little talk. And Dr. Akana and Ollie patch things up. And then Ollie says, "Hey, I'm going to take your place, Mom. I'm going to go ahead and help your coworker. I'm going to stay up late to get all the data worked out for you so you don't have to do anything." Meanwhile, the other Rangers go off. They complete a list of food places they want to see in Japan, while Dr. Akana and Amelia go and check out this device that Dr. Akana has. And Mia's like, "This is the first time, no one's ever used it to hunt ghosts. Let's go." And so they go and check that out, and then we have the end of the episode, which felt rather abrupt. But before we get into the abruptness, let's go ahead and talk about my likes for the episode. There were actually a lot of things to like about this episode. First things first were the cute moments between Ollie and Amelia. Seeing them planning a trip together, talking about how Ollie fell asleep on the beach and started snoring, and Ollie asking Amelia, "Well, it was a cute snore, right?" And she just completely does not answer him. That was funny. That was legit funny. And then the fact that Amelia gives Ollie a little playful shrug after he convinces Ion to go to Japan, that was also cute. Like, yeah, she maybe wasn't all that up for it. She gave Ion a chance to say no. But, she also appreciates the fact that Ollie really wants to go on this trip to the Stein Hotel with her. And then the fact that she was able to convince Ollie that, hey, ghosting your mom isn't all that good. It shows that they have a good and respectful relationship between the two of them. And I like that. I like that a lot. Speaking of which, the way that Ollie convinces Ion to go to Japan and by appealing to Ion's foodie nature was absolutely hilarious. Ion even says that he likes ramen, sashimi, and miso soup, even though he hasn't tried any of that food yet. But knowing Ion, my boy probably would like it because my boy is a foodie at heart. And keeping on the topic of Ion, I like the fact that when him and Dr. Connor are walking in, I guess, in Japan after they eat some takoyaki, Ion just briefly mentions the fact that the place reminds him of his grandparents' place back on Rafcon. Well, I guess Rafcon before it exploded. And that was nice. Even if it's just a small little tidbit of information, it's nice to see that Ion is talking about Rafcon because compared to Zato at the start of season one, Ion really doesn't mention his time on Rafcon much. I've talked about this before, but it really doesn't seem like he misses Rafcon that much unless the plot really calls for it. So for him to mention it out of the blue here, it's good. It's very, very much enjoyable. Speaking of enjoyable, the Unmore fight between Ion and Sugarhit was pretty good. Again, we haven't had that many Unmore fights this season, so of course we enjoy them when we can get them. This one could have been a little bit better, but it was still fun to watch Ion, kick some Sugarhit Butte in the Unmore form. And then one more Ion related thing is that when the Rangers teleport into Japan, he says that, oh good, my ride or dies are here. And I'm like, that was cute. Like that, I don't know. It was funny, it was cute. Ion using Earth lingo for his fellow Ranger friends it was nice. It was really, really nice. And then one more thing to add is that Amelia using the line, I never had a mom, let alone a cool one like yours card, to get Ollie to see reason, in how he's been a jerk to his mom, was really, really good. Not just because, it helps convince Ollie that yes, he has been a jerk, but because as we've seen from the back half of this season, it again keeps the audience thinking about the fact that we don't know what happened with Amelia's parents, and it keeps the mystery going on in the back of our head, and plants the seeds for the eventual reveal of who her parents are, where they are, or what may have happened to them during the mysterious circumstances or the fire, or whatever happened. We'll get that reveal here soon enough. We only have a few more episodes left over. But another thing I wanted to mention there is that the Rangers finally go to Japan. I don't recall the Rangers going to Japan in Power Rangers ever. So the fact that they finally go to Japan, even if they're probably just filming somewhere in New Zealand, it was cool. Like it was appreciated. And the fact that they even used Japanese language here and there, even if it's just a word or two, and the fact that they even had a Japanese broadcast talking about the yokai or the sport beasts as we know them, it was cool. It was cool. I did not expect that little tidbit there. But my only other like for this episode was the fact that when they teleport into the final location where Mucus and friends were residing, they see some henchmen, and they see the henchmen who are just taking selfies, and Zato's like, not on my watch. And I'm like, dog, chill. What do you have against your former employees taking selfies on their vacation day? Like, Zato, they're not even causing a ruckus right now. They're just chilling. Like, you're just jealous that the henchmen aren't working for you anymore, my bro. Which, again, it's really, really weird that they don't mention the fact that the henchmen used to be on their side. Like, I don't know why you wouldn't mention that ever. But anyway, let's go ahead and talk about our dislikes, which today there's really only one dislike I have about this episode, and that is the fact that Void Queen and the villains seem very disconnected from this episode. The fact that we don't really see Void Queen's reaction to Void King not being able to start up the drill is just very weird, and it highlights a bigger problem in this back half of the season, and that Void Queen and her actions really just seem like to be an afterthought of sorts. Like, she hasn't really done much in these last few episodes, and it's something I've mentioned before, and it's just really bizarre. Like, I'm hoping that from 19 to 22, Void Queens becomes a much bigger thing going into those episodes, because I kind of thought she was better when Void Knight was still around and she was having her marriage squabble with Void Knight, because at least there was more characterization to her and there was more things for her to do. Right now, just like she's just kind of there, if that makes sense. But yeah, we'll see how that pans out here within the next few episodes. But yeah, it was really weird that we didn't get any sort of reaction on her part to the, their failure. But yeah, in conclusion, it was a decent. This was a decent episode. We got more Dr. Akana moments, which I loved. That we got the Rangers going to Japan. We got an more fight. We got just a little bit more progress on Void Queen's plan. She wants to use a drill to drill into drill into a Sporix hotspot, which I'm assuming they want to drill into the Dino Henge base to get the rest of the Sporix that the Rangers have. But beyond that, I mean, again, we also had a cute Amelia and Ollie moment. But beyond that, yeah, it was just an okay episode. Not good, not great, not bad, but yeah, just okay. But yeah, no questions of the week this week. Again, it was a pretty chill episode. Not really much to talk about that we haven't talked about in the past already. Yeah, let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comment section below. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment because it does help with the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, get your vaccine. COVID shots or COVID booster shots for Omicron variant are available at your local CVS, Walgreens, and wherever else your boosters are available at. But until next time, thank you again for watching. I'm Dr. Zio. Stay safe, mask up, because COVID is no joke, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Ciao.